stop. Just stop scrolling for just a second. 10 years. It has been 10 years that, and I just recently woke up, and right after I was awake, I was just in tears. Multiple comments from multiple members of the church I belong to on my Instagram from people who chose to follow me. They started a really long strand of comments about how disgusting I am. And this had nothing to do with tattoos, but they mentioned my weight and they mentioned my hair, because spirituality is based on that, right? And they quite literally said, quote, "Nothing about this woman is Mormon anymore." And 10 years I've been a member. 10 years straight, and I have only been told from members of my church that no matter what I'm doing, no matter what I look like, no matter what I write about, that I'm doing it wrong. Y'all have been extremely creative through these 10 years to find like the most bizarre reasons to tell me that I don't belong. Only members have told me word for word that God does not love me. Now, as a convert from the East, brothers and sisters, that is a literal term. Church family is literally family out in the East and a lot of other places. Like, I've lived in the West Coast now for 10 years, and I can assure you that church culture is very different back in the East and what we deal with everywhere else. I laugh when I hear of church culture because it's not church culture, it's location culture. And how ignorantly excited I was to follow the Spirit from the East to the West, leaving my small East Coast branch just a few short months after I was baptized. I was just baptized. And I was leaving behind quite literally everything. Everything I owned, I left behind. I left behind every single one of my family members, the only way of living that I know of. But I had it in my mind that where I was going, at least I could still have family, right? Only to find out that when I got there, it was my family are the only ones that caused those unexpected tears. But here I am. 10 years later, and through it all, the hurt, the ridicule, the tears, the confusion, the judgment, the loneliness, I really like me. I really like who I am. And I'm happy. I am. I'm a real kind of happy. One that can only come from a resolve with yourself and a resolve with God. And when you have found contentment and love in yourself, there's power. The power to keep going, the power to move past it all, the power to still show up, the power to laugh minutes after tears at breakfast with your husband. Who is anyone to tell you, who is anyone to tell me that I do not belong here, a part of this gospel? Who is anyone to tell me or you or anyone else that I am not welcome to partake of the love and the blessings of Christ? Who is anyone to tell me that God is not my Father and that I am not His? Or to you? I don't care. I don't care if you're covered in tattoos. Who cares about that? I don't care what you look like. I don't care about your weight or your hair or your eyelashes or your age or your race or your gender. I don't care if you grew up and stayed in the church. I don't care if you grew up and left the church. And I don't care if you've never even heard of the church until right now. Everyone is welcome and invited to partake of forgiveness, of salvation, of change, of that real happiness that I definitely didn't have those 21 years before I found the church. One of the indescribable feelings of Christ's love, of His atonement, of His chance at a better life. And none of you, I love you, but no one else is going to be the reason why I turn away from a real God. No one else is going to be the reason why I give up eternal bliss and living again with my Father. He is my dad. He's your dad. And who is anyone to tell you different? I hope everyone gets to that point, Listen, let go of any hurt that may be caused from someone else. Please, with all that I have in me, invest in taking the time to learn how to like yourself. Because then everything else is just noise. Please invest in being able to see yourself the way that God sees you. Because then purpose and drive become like a shield against all that other stuff. Sometimes you just gotta worry about you and worry about God and work it out with Him like I did. And sometimes you just gotta look in the mirror a little bit longer if you need to, like I did. Invest in an open and real relationship like Him, like I did. There is a protecting power that comes, and a contentment and a happiness that comes, and a radiant resolve that comes, because wow, does life just blossom when you invest in really knowing what matters. It's God that matters. It's your soul that could never die that matters. It is you that matters. It is quite literally your never-ending existence that matters. Is giving up all of that worth it? When you invest to know and to feel in this radiant resolve of who you are and whose you are, everything else